babies.
It's been a while since we've done a show.
Thank you, Irene. Oh man, those were the days. Bobby wasn't around for that. We actually did some of our looking back was that was the best show we've ever did. Shit, we didn't fucking press record.
Do it again.
We
did it once. Irene. That's where Thank You, Irene came from.
That's where Thank You, Irene came from?
Yeah, because remember, you're we have to have a code word so we know we're recording. So that's where say Thank You, Irene, so we see the recording.
I don't remember that.
I do. I remember that.
Sounds right. It does sound right. I'm not going to argue it. I just don't remember.
Seems plausible.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of plausible, what do you say we start the show here? We got a Patriots recap show. We're calling the Snapshot. Snapshot of week 2 in the Patriots and the Seahawks. Patriots suffer their first loss in overtime, 23-20. We'll go over some pros, some cons, some observations. As we do every show, let's just start with some very quick hitting opening takes. Ray, you were still under suspension for stealing takes, so you have to go first.
Thank you there, Richard. Mine is that the rookie head coach, Gerard Mayo, is showing why he's a rookie head coach. He was making some dumb plays first half. The time in the second quarter, he wasn't using it properly. Run, pass, letting the Seahawks get the ball back and go down the field and get a field goal. The overtime, knowing that the rules are what they are, that when you punt the ball, you're going to give them an easier shot to go down and march down to the field and kick a field goal to win the game. They should have won it with on 4th and inches. So rookie head coach, rookie mistakes is what I'm going with.
Okay, first, we'll get into that, but you want the ball in the regular season and overtime. You want to go score a touchdown in the game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They on the 4th and inches, they should have went for it instead of punting to the Seahawks in overtime.
Well, I got a bigger problem with the third down call. We'll get to that. Bobby, your opening take.
So normally in the difference between weeks 1 and 2, teams have a wild swing. Take a look at it. In most of the league, teams that won blowout wins then got blown out. Not the Patriots. They played the exact same game. This time, they just made the mistakes to lose.
Yeah, and guess what? That's going to be the same exact game. They play all year long, and there's one guy you can thank for it, Mr. Elliott Wolf. You are a number 1 wide receiver and a left tackle away from being a fringe playoff team. Without those things, you are going to get a run, low scoring, inefficient passing to very little, no passing game all season long. And you're just not going to be able to compete in the NFL with that type of offense. And if Elliott Wolf and his $40 million in cap space put his nuts on the table for even a Calvin Ridley or a veteran left tackle, you'd be in a much better position than you are right now. But, what do I know? Addressing your number 1, 2, and 3 needs in the offseason when you got $100 million to spend? Fuck it. We'll do it next year, I guess. Speaking of fuck it, this is the Simple Mind Sports Show. Snapshot, week 2, Patriots Seahawks. Welcome to the show.
The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot.
Thank you, Raymond. Pros, cons, and observations from Chief Bobby in week 2. We're going to start off with the pro. Offensively, they were competitive against a good defense, no turnovers, disciplined, 1 penalty, 2 for 4 in the red zone. Hunter Henry and Antonio Gibson joined the season. They can still run the ball. Your thoughts on this pro?
It's exactly as it's. They played literally the exact same game, except this time Gibson broke the tackle for the big run. You watched him play. It felt like it was different, but then when I go back and looked at it today, it wasn't. They played the exact same game. They did feel more competitive in that game. It felt like they were doing more. It felt like they were bigger plays, but statistically wise, they weren't. And I don't know if it's game plan or not, but we'll get into that into the cons.
You know what I think it was too is that they weren't doing the run. Like they were actually breaking it up a little bit, like with the throwing on second and third down more instead of just trying to run the ball. I mean, I know you said that was the same comparison that they had the same stats, but it just seemed like it was a better game plan for the Seahawks than it was the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals just seemed like it was like, all right, this series we're just going to run the ball with Ramondre. Hopefully, he can break out a big run or whatever. But it just seemed like everything was broken down differently on this game.
A little bit
They
more
didn't
layered.
run it as well. Without Ramondre has an 18 yards run. Without that, he's under 4 yards a carry. Gibson's a 45-yard, and those skew the numbers. They were under 4 yards carrying the ball this game. They weren't that good. The offensive line sucked. They would have been under 3 yards a carry if it wasn't for Stevenson and Gibson with their sweet feet avoiding some of those tackles in the backfield, busting through the line. Jacoby Brissett should have been sacked at least 3 times.
Nearly avoided the safety.
Nearly avoided the safety. I didn't even think he saw it coming. The offensive line is where I would start here, but we're not on that. We're on a pro. Hunter Henry is what I would take out of this. Next week he could have another 1 or 2 catches. I think that's the type of player he is in this kind of offense.
No. Jacoby has found his binky, and that is Hunter Henry. That is his guy. I mean, he had 109 receiving yards out of 148 passing yards by Jacoby Brissett. That's his guy. That's his safety blanket. He looks for him every single time. I mean, you did text us during the game that Polk or Douglas was wide open on a lot of routes that they were re-showing the replays. He's not looking for anyone else. He's just looking for Hunter Henry.
I don't know how many of those plays were actually designed for Hunter Henry. I'm going to guess 0. So
not many of them. A couple of them, it was when he got flushed to the right and threw it over to him.
That is not a recipe for consistency. Hunter Henry will not be a consistent catcher of the football this year for the Patriots. It'll be up and down. It's great. It's great that Hunter Henry can provide that outlet for Brissett when he's running for his life. But hey, AVP, can we run a fucking slant or a dig route with the fastest guy on your team named Pop Douglas one time for me? 4 attempts. We'll get there. I keep getting into the negatives, so sorry.
Yeah, you're very negative right
now.
Here
we are. 3 out of 4 attempts to wide receivers. There was 4 attempts thrown to the wide receivers in this game. One was a touchdown to Polk. Nice throw, nice route. But the point is he should be getting more of this. Bobby asks, is it the game plan? Is it the quarterback pressure? Lack of willingness to push the ball? Is anybody open? Douglas is open nearly on every play and doesn't get the ball. Bobby, you state it's a problem? Yeah, it's why they lost. Point blank. Look at Geno Smith carving up that Patriots defense and Jacoby Brissett barely being able to get the ball. He threw the ball to the wide receivers. He attempted to 4 times. You cannot win in the NFL. That's Mac Jones level of incompetence.
How many of those were coverage sacks too? Out of the sacks,
I don't even know how many times he got sacked.
Well, there's
a couple. He technically was only sacked 3 times, but he was pressured on half his dropbacks.
I think the 3 sacks though were coverage sacks, or at least 2 of them, because I remember them making that analysis on the broadcast that none of the wide receivers were getting open. Like they were just fucking blanketed, like whatever they're doing. So were they running generic routes or something like that, or there was no like mix up in there? Like it was just post plays or something like that, and that's why he was getting coverage sacks.
I think Brissett is utterly terrified to push the ball down the field. He just literally won't do it. At some point, you have to test windows. You have to. You could. Every play doesn't run Polk wide open in the end zone where they showed that replay where he just slowly reaches up and bullets it into him. Sometimes you have to test it, and he's unwilling to. I don't know whether it's coach driven or he just won't do it.
Well, look, whether you have an inadequacy at quarterback, and his inadequacy is going to be talked about at length, but I go back to the coaching here. All right, you've got a Pop Douglas with speed. The one time we saw Tyquan Thornton in this game, they ran him in the backfield and didn't give him the ball. We can get to that play if you'd like to. But you've got some speed on this team. Run some short. I mean, they implemented a couple screens this game. The one to Hunter Henry that went for a long gain was nice to see. Nice design. You got to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. And if Jacoby Brissett can't do it because either the line is breaking down in pass coverage, his receivers can't get open down the field in 20-yard outs, or he's afraid to throw the ball that far, then come up with run some pick routes, run some drags, run some short one. Give it to Pop Douglas. Give it to Jalen Polk. I don't care if he can't throw the ball more than 7 yards, Bobby, then throw it 4, but at least give it into your playmaker's hands.
I agree. And I think also they need to look at doing some wide receiver rotations. KJ Osborne is not good enough. He can't play anymore. They need to either start working in Baker or working in Kayshon Boutte. He can't run, and he doesn't get open. He's terrible.
Bobby, you mentioned this nearly identical offensive performance, 310 yards versus 290 in the Bengals game, 185 yards versus 170 in the Bengals game, 0 turnovers and broken tackles leading to the only explosive plays. It's a theme. Oh, lost the email. It's back. Didn't feel like watch the same, but upon further review, it was. Difference 2 for 4 in the red zone instead of 1 for 4, leading to 4 extra points. Quote, it's math. Here's your point, Ray. Here's a con. At the end of the first half, clock management. With 1:37 left on the clock, the Pats had the ball at their own 10. They ran it twice for 2 yards. 2 crappy out routes with 5% or less chance of completion. They did not run the clock out enough. Gave the Seahawks back with time and a timeout to then come down and kick a field goal before half, leading to the difference in the game. So clock management, coaching, general premise of this arrow down, thumbs down, con for the Patriots. You want to give Mayo shit for that?
I think it's Mayo's
I
fault.
give it to
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
I was going to say, I give it to AVP. He calls the plays. So it seems like he came out, ran, and then decided, it's like, oh, no, wait, we should try and move the ball. Throws 2 crappy passes and then doesn't even get the timeouts. I don't think that there was a clear-cut plan on how they're going to execute that final possession.
But don't you go to Mayo? If you're Mayo, don't you go to AVP and say, all right, give me your best, like your highest percentage play that you can come up with right now that you guarantee is going to move this ball down the field or push the clock to halftime so we're not giving them the ball back. And clearly, with the out routes, it was not the best play for that situation.
The mistake was third down. The mistake, you're not going to pick up that third down, run the ball, make him call timeout.
Yeah.
That's Gerard Mayo's call. That's Gerard Mayo going in the headset, run it.
Or is it the
He's
nerds
definitely not
upstairs?
there yet. He's definitely not at that level of management yet. That's 100% clear.
No, and look, you're going to have to expect a learning curve for all of these guys. AVP's first year calling games, and you're right, Ray. There was a point there in the third quarter where 3 and outs in a row when they were trying to throw the ball around, and then they finally came back to the run game and finally got some forward momentum into the fourth quarter there because they're run.
Is he frozen or is he just fucking standing still like that?
He's frozen, or someone came in. Someone came into the.
Someone came in. Yeah,
someone came into the bullpen there trying to make a deal.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, get the fuck out! I'm trying to record a show here, motherfucker."
Yeah. So I think coaching certainly is to blame there. Whether it's coaching in game or coaching out of game, they got the field goal blocked. There's a lot of bad shit on that one. Was that in here specifically?
Oh, it's in there.
Okay, we'll get to it then. Let's stick on the
Look
coaching
under
side
a
of the ball.
section titled Con.
Got it. We might want to separate these for like the 3 pros at the beginning of the show and then the rest of the cons the rest of the show. Bouncing in between these is giving me a headache.
I will maintain creative responsibility of the pro-con observation section. However, your feedback is noted.
Thank you. Any other coaching? So Ray, you wanted them to go for it on 4th down in overtime at their own, what was it,
30, so call it their 30, yeah.
37?
Yeah.
Okay, before you get to that decision, the 3rd down play with Tyquan Thornton and the wishbone, whatever the fuck that was, if you're going to bring Tyquan Thornton in that play, you better give him the ball because nobody in the world thought Tyquan Thornton's getting that fucking ball, and he didn't. So if you're going to try and play pussycat and be smarter than everybody else, then be smarter than everybody else and be ballsy. Fake pitch that to Tyquan Thornton and let him see if he can get around the end. I hate the play in general. Like I would hate it if they gave it to Tyquan Thornton, even if it worked. Don't move the ball sideways when you have less than 3 yards to get for first down. Push it forward. Either run it forward or throw it forward. This fucking college football sideways offense sucks. And so many teams do it on 3rd and 4th down with less than 3 yards. It drives me insane. Why do you give the defense time to react to that? Throw it over the line to gain.
I take it
So
most of your
stupid.
I take most of your Saturday afternoons are not watching college football.
I'd rather shit in my own hat than watch college football. Those are a bunch of loser fucking 18-year-old nincompoops that are taking plays off a sign that with a naked picture of Miley Cyrus. You think I want to watch those dumbasses who are all making millions of dollars now, not giving a fuck about what they're going on the field? No.
While you're still paying your student loan debt and they're all paid off and fucking driving nice cars.
It's been paid off for years, but what do you think I am? Some kind of
my only other probably con was DeMarcus Covington. Clearly, I didn't hear the mother joke, but that's quoted. That's number one, no more. DeMarcus Covington.
I get one still.
Yeah, you do. Clearly, he was over his head on Sunday because the Seahawks learned to do hurry up offense and keep the same personnel on the field and was switching it up. And that's when DK Metcalf had that huge downfield touchdown. So clearly that has to be talked about, is that Covington didn't really address that at halftime because the Seahawks came out in the second half and continued doing that. And they still looked like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing on defense. So.
Okay, well, Bobby gets to that on the defensive side of the ball. Competitive defense only gives up 6 points in the second half. They came up with some key stops down the stretch, stuffed the run with Walker out only 46 yards for Charbonnet. Put the offense. They put the offense in a position to win the game in regulation. They did. Let me just go straight to the cons here, as we're on the defense and the observation. The blown coverage on defense leads to a 53-yard touchdown to Metcalf. You just mentioned, Ray. According to Duggar, in postgame, he changed the call to an all-out blitz. Whoops. I read that, but that's exactly what came into my mind. I didn't even read that before. They let JSN and Metcalf each catch 10+. Not enough pressure on Geno. They let him stand back there and throw the ball all day. The observation in this, they really miss Barmore and Judon. Welcome. Thank you for coming to my side shoot on that. One more stud lineman is what the defense needs. They couldn't take advantage of the team with two starters on the O-line. But here's where I'll disagree. They need some linebackers. The middle of the field was open all fucking day.
That was
long.
That was the plan. They were just giving up everything. They were giving up everything underneath.
And they've got Duggar playing in hybrid linebacker safety roles who are taking on tight ends, running backs, or anybody in the slot, and they're getting burnt left and right all day long. And whatever zone coverage Covington had him running, that fucking sucked. JSN got, how many balls did he catch? Just finding the pocket.
13, 14.
Nice.
We called them cohesive last week because of their pass rush and their amoeba defense. That a secondary, the furthest thing from cohesion that you're going to see with that shitty zone defense. And then the Duggar call. I mean, the Duggar call to be an all-out blitz on 2nd and 4 in the second quarter was stupid in the middle of the field. And then obviously a blown pass coverage where no one got back to.
Was that Marcus Jones and Christian Gonzalez that were basically like?
That was Duggar.
It was Duggar
and Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Gonzalez
I listened to that post game. No one's coming out to saying who should have followed Metcalf. So they're all.
Well, they're saying it wasn't Christian Gonzalez because Christian Gonzalez was recorded for holding DK Metcalf to only 24 yards.
Well,
Duggar's high safety, so I would assume that it would have been his responsibility.
Yeah.
And he called the defense.
Yeah, well, yeah. So a multitude of mistakes there, miscommunication, bad play call. Why are you calling an all-out blitz on 2nd and 4 in the second quarter in the middle of the field? What the fuck? I mean, what is that? Anyway,
who's calling that? Who's calling that, or who's telling him? Is he wearing the green dot?
Duggar said he called it.
So it's him.
They lost Bentley basically at the beginning of the game, so maybe that hurt their communication in the field and not getting their defense set in the in the fast-paced offense that. Or the
how does that work? So since Bentley goes off, does someone else get the green dot?
Yeah.
They moved the mic.
So it's to Duggar.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently Duggar had it. Or unless he called it with hand signals. I don't know. I don't know who had the green dot.
Oh, so regardless, football day. If they had the Miley Cyrus naked sign, they would have known. Fall back. Don't let DK get behind you because that's what Miley Cyrus naked means, right?
That's true.
Football.
Point college football.
I guess that's one
Suck
way.
it, McPhee.
Guess that's one way to go. They are missing Judon though, Bobby. Should have paid that guy.
I was in agreement, just simply for 1 year.
Yep. Look, defense, same as last year. Good, not great. Good, not great. You bring a competent team in here that can throw, they're going to get waxed. They're going to get fucking waxed. Watch out Thursday if Aaron Rodgers feels like he wants to play. They're going to get waxed in the secondary.
Almost lost to the fucking Titans.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Jets.
They almost lost to the Titans.
Okay, so you're gonna win Thursday then?
I think it's gonna be a game. I think it's gonna be a game.
I
don't
think
think
you're
So you've turned around in 1 week. You didn't want to be happy last week. You were forced to be happy. You didn't
Sorry,
want
me?
to. You wanted to be angry.
It's where
Son of
I
a
feel
bitch.
most comfortable. If they try to play zone against Aaron Rodgers on Thursday, they will.
He's going
get
to carve the shit. Yeah.
shellacked.
But I think they have to go man.
He's
They
not
gotta
going
go
to
man.
recover by Thursday. He's still in the ice bath.
That might be true. All right, here we'll get to the end. In the decisive point of the game, they took control with 2 key stops and a touchdown drive until they blew it, says Chief Bobby. Brissett takes a bonehead sack on 3rd down. The field goal gets blocked. Seahawks go on to tie it up on the ensuing drive. The observation errors lost this game. Brissett taking the sack forced a longer attempt, which likely caused Slide to hit from the lower trajectory. And, we get it. We know how longer field goals are trajected lower. Bob, thank you. Hooper completely whiffed on the block. That's the bigger fucking take here. No one blocked the guy who came and blocked the fucking field goal. Points off the board, big swing. Here's what I'll say to that. Obviously, number one, coaching error and blame it on the player, too. He didn't block him. I mean, he came in unblocked.
He went for the outside guy instead of getting the inside guy. It's pretty dumb.
Idiot. Yeah. Stupid. Well, you want to call that coaching, or he's been in the league for 9 years. Probably should know what to do.
Call both.
Either way, yes. That was after the 45-yard run from Gibson. It seemed like you were going to salt the game away. 25 more yards, kick the field goal, burn the clock. Same formula we saw last week. Run, salt this thing away. Instead, they take a terrible sack in places that you cannot take a sack, force a 47-yard field goal, get it blocked. The field position allows the Seahawks to move down the field and kick the tying field goal. I'll just say this, though. The way that offense was moving for Seattle, if you kick the field goal there, who's to say they just don't come down and score a touchdown and win the game? If they went for it on 4th down there in the 4th quarter, they were getting it. They were probably going into the end zone. They just kicked the field goal to go in overtime.
Defense had 2 stops before that. I don't know about that. They had the momentum. I think they're once that field goal got blocked, it took the wind right out of their sails.
I don't know. I mean, the Seahawks also had like 7 drops. Like there was no coverage.
There were some of those drops were terrible too. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a bad one on the sideline, and then their tight end Noah Fant, I believe, had the other one. It was bad. It was
that was a touchdown from Fant. That was on the last drive. That would have been a walk-in touchdown of Fant. I think the Patriots' pass defense was atrocious. It was terrible. Yeah. If the Seahawks had half as many drops, it would be a different game. So they've certainly got a lot of clean up. Bobby finishes up overall observations. They played the same game as they did against the Bengals, except this time they made the mistake and lost. This team doesn't blow. They lack talent, but look capable on the field. If they just had a left tackle, Christian Barmore, and an off Marco Wilson, they could compete for a wild card. Yeah, the Marco Wilson.
You'd co-sign on that one.
Cut immediately. A lot being made of the Jonathan Jones PI in overtime, which basically set up the loss.
Which Tyler Lockett came out and said that it wasn't a pass interference, but
good for him.
Can't do anything about it.
You hate to see it called in that situation, but it's the NFL.
You don't make that call in overtime. You don't do that.
Just like the refs in the end of the Chiefs-Bengals game. Just all they do.
We'll get to that. Nice tease. Come join us Thursday evening, 8 p.m. on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. We'll do a little around the NFL. Get Bobby's thoughts on the Chiefs and Bengals refereed game. But before that, we'll be looking forward to the Patriots on Jets on Thursday. We got a Pats 1-1 team coming off a blown opportunity, is what I'd say. There's not going to be a whole lot of favorable matchups in the schedule here. So
could have been 2-0. Legitimately could have been 2-0.
Yeah,
which you're tied with the Bills at the top of the AFC East. Oof. And that AFC East looks with the Tua looking like radio.
Oh, we'll get to that on Thursday. Thank you, Raymond. That's what you call another tease in the biz. We'll see you next time. Suman Sports Show. Hey, if you like what you heard, please like the video. Please hit subscribe. Tell your friends. As always, tell your mothers. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.